Bring up Chuck Schumer. That's a good one to start with.
I gotta sing. All you see on CNN, nobody can hear it. Anti-Trump slogans and white supremacy. But where are those good old conservative values and a faith in God? Lucky there's the Orange Men Pod. Lucky there's two men who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. We are the Orange Men Pod. I always do the fart at the end.
Yeah, Dave loves to fart.
Nobody can hear the music. They can just hear me singing. That's why they're all laughing at me hysterically.
Who's laughing at you?
She's laughing at me.
They're all going to point and laugh at you.
They're all going to point and laugh. What movie was that, Carrie?
I forget, yeah.
Carrie.
Something like that.
They're all going to laugh at you.
We're all going to point and laugh at you. That's what we do to the mask wearers and the Biden supporters. You.
Who's got birthmarks?
Listen, I'm over that job anyway.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Orange Men Podcast. We got a full house here tonight.
Can I get a beer?
Full house tonight?
Full house.
Full house.
Are you Uncle Danny or can I be John Stamos?
I'm David Chicago.
Oh, that's right.
You want to be John Stamos?
I'm Clitoris.
No.
Sorry.
You're Clint Orris.
That's what I said.
No.
Anyway, so what's up, Dave?
Are you crazy?
Yes.
So we're back.
We're back having a good time. We got several people in the audience tonight, so we might get a little peanut gallery.
It is like we're at a bar. It's a live audience, a live studio audience.
I think that's what we should do.
We need a sign that says applause and laugh when we're making jokes.
No, because we're not funny. I think we should do a...
Hear the audience?
What?
You can't really hear. They can't.
Yeah,
Oh,
they can
you're
hear
like
you.
loud and clear when you talk.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all loud.
They're all loud and clear.
The one person the one time was like, "Are you at a bar?" When they were listening, I was like, "No, we're at Dave's house," and everybody's just in the room.
Yeah, it sounds like a bar, but it's not.
A lot of ladies,
Yeah.
lot of wives and women.
A lot of chicks.
You say, yeah, we're at a bar. You want to book us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's up, Dave? What are we doing?
Oh, what's this?
I don't know. It's somebody's mustache.
Mustache.
A
I'm not really
mustache
sure.
you a question.
I just started the whole thing, and I just figured we'd just go.
All right.
We would just go.
So what's going on? So I sent you a couple of emails. Do you want to bring up how they're going to spy on us for our $600?
No.
No, you don't want to do that?
No, because there's 50 bajillion other things.
All right, well, what are
That
you...
$600 thing is just like...
What's the
small-
other bajillion things?
Small
you got?
potatoes.
I sent you other... all right, what's the other bajillion things?
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. I sent you a bunch of stuff. Do you want to talk about Chuck Schumer crying about how we shouldn't force people to pay between heating bills and food bills?
No.
We can listen to that on video. That's
I don't want to listen to it, but I think, that's what's going on. Because remember back in the day when... We gotta decide whether grandmother's gonna eat dog food
Yeah, Social Security or
get her medicine.
yeah, Social Security or
The fuck out of here with that fucking scare tactics. That's all the Democrats got is scare tactics.
yeah. Well, yeah.
I want to scare you to control you.
Do you want to talk about how 4.1 million people quit their jobs in August?
Yeah.
Quit their jobs because they were like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Quit it. So you can't tell me that there's... What is this dude's like? I remember talking about it, a couple months ago when they were like, the job numbers look great. And I was like, no, it's because these states, the red states that it was at the time,
Well,
the red
trying to make
states...
the job numbers look great, but
Well, the job numbers were opening up because people were opening their states back up, these governors and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, we created 3.5 million new jobs. It's like, no, they're not new jobs. They're just the jobs that we opened up.
yeah, but it wasn't that many.
Well, 3.5 ain't shit.
No, but it wasn't. It was like 100.
But they were-
100,000. It was something ridiculous.
But they were all excited about it.
Well, no, they had
There is
act
no-
excited about it, but they weren't excited about it because it was an all-time low.
Yeah. Well, they
had to spin it.
they have their propaganda machine of the mainstream
okay.
media
No, I understand. That's too much.
spinning it, going, oh, this is fantastic news.
We need some beers over here. Some beers. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
You might knock your
My mic off?
microphone.
Nah, it's all right. I'm good. So there's, I mean, I will agree with you. There's been a lot of stuff. Joe Biden's telling us how his plan is working, but he needs a plan, the plan to work.
Well, the other day he did some speech. Shame on me for not paying attention, but he was blaming the non-vaxxers for all the problems.
Right.
And it's just another group to turn against another group.
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Like it's all division. That's all they have. It's like, we're gonna point fingers and blame you, and it's like, well, all right, listen, you were supposed to be the great uniter, not the great divider.
Well, he's done nothing he said he was going to do.
That's a factual statement. That's the sad part, and people don't realize it, but people do realize it because they're starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that, and you can't tell me that even these people that were on the fence about Trump, that weren't emotionally involved and are like, yeah, you know what? This time last year was a lot better than.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people having Biden remorse. There's a lot of people.
This time last year was a lot better. I could get to work. I wasn't worried about not having Christmas toys. I wasn't worried about
Katie.
Dude, the whole port thing is ridiculous. I don't even understand how this is going on. And I see people posting like, "Well, bring the National Guard in to help out the ports," and it's like, yeah, you know what? The unions aren't going to let the National Guard come in there and help them work. And it's not even the port workers, because I saw videos of the port workers, and we follow, a couple of people that they talk about how the ports are working. They're working 24/7, 7 days a week. So it's not like the ports aren't working. It's just they're either not releasing. They're either not releasing the containers, or the truckers aren't there to pull it, to haul it out. So what is it? Is there not enough truckers? There's probably not enough truckers now because there's shit so backed up. And they also don't want to go into these like New York, Long Beach, where in California where it's Long Beach port, where you have to be vaccinated and stuff like that. Like, so they don't want to go there. They don't want to haul into New York. They don't want to haul out of New York because you got to be vaccinated and stuff like that. So there's a lot of.
You're driving a truck by yourself. You got to be vaccinated?
Well, I think even from what I understood, I heard people from Florida didn't want to haul up to New York State even because you have to show proof of vaccination.
As a driver. In your cab by yourself.
And then if you weren't
no contact with anyone.
So even if you made it up and you wouldn't get a load coming back, and you know how hauling is, you wouldn't get a load coming back because you were unvaccinated in certain states. So if you were in New York State or Long Island or New York City, you wouldn't get a load coming back, and that's what's that called?
Oh my God!
It's a dead.
Oh my God!
It's a dead load. People don't want to do that. They need to turn and burn. I'm gonna haul one up. I'm gonna haul one back.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stop in Maryland, drop off, and pick up something in Maryland, and take it back down south or something. You know what I mean? That's how these people operate. That's how they work.
There you go.
Everything's not as. Well, it just shows up on the shelf. The shelf fairy puts it there.
Yeah, where's the shelf fairy when you need them?
I'll tell you one thing. Aldi does have it right. You go into Aldi, everything's already in the box. You got to pull your shit out of the box yourself. You walk around. You're pulling your own stuff. You got to buy your own bags. You got to put your own cart back. The person that's cashing your.
Did it turn back on?
Yeah, there's too many people talking.
Is that what it is? Someone said something?
Somebody said
Sorry
GoPro.
about the break in the interruption.
Somebody
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You know what? It wasn't.
Stop recording.
Don't. Let's roll with this.
And we're back. Yeah, so Aldi has
This
it
is
right.
taking forever.
I mean, they basically pay you $0.25 to return their cart. And everybody's like, yeah.
Yeah, but where are you going to take the cart?
Well, you can leave it in the parking lot, like all the other assholes at Giant or Walmart or.
So they're saying they don't need a cart person.
Yeah, so they're saving money on a cart person because you want your quarterback.
I really don't want my quarterback.
Well, you're the one guy that leaves your quarter in the middle of your cart in the lot.
Yeah, you're done recording?
No, we're still going. You want to talk? You want to come on board?
No, we don't want to be on.
But what I'm saying is,
Anybody wanna be on the
Aldi
show?
does it right. They don't unload on the shelves. They keep everything. They're we got 3 boxes deep of Oreos or chips. You know what I mean? You're pulling a bag. You're pulling a bag of chips out of the box.
No, I got it.
The meat is all in the case. It's 4 days old, ready.
Some bad meat in the can
Everything's
right there.
everything's a manager's special. from Giant,
I know.
but they have it down right, and they're not slow. They throw your shit into the next cart, and you use your cart. They use your cart.
It's a well-oiled
It's a
machine.
Yes, it's efficient.
And some things they have that are really worth it. Some things are garbage, but I mean they have.
Well, I'm
some-
not talking about food wise. I'm just
They got some
the
good stuff.
efficiency of the situation.
Okay, situation.
But what cracks me up is that we can't find this at the ports. Like, what's going on? Like, what are we missing? We need to get some truck drivers. We are live. Can we get a truck driver to call in from the port?
We should go live.
Now we should get a truck driver to call
You know
in.
what? That's what we need to start doing.
What?
We need to start posting live times every Friday night at specific time and go live.
Is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
that's what we should start doing.
Well, you start doing that.
Well, I don't know how. You got to show me. And then when we start getting live feeds, then we'll start bringing the show on the road.
Oh, we're gonna go on the road.
We're gonna go on the road,
All right.
like all those other guys do. Do you think we should change our name?
I don't know, man.
Well, I need you to tell me.
Our name's all right.
The Orange Men.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right, right?
Yeah, it works.
All right. I like it.
Brought to you by It's Okay to
It's
Be
okay to be
American.
American, but I got the studio out there. I'm gonna do a nice neon sign behind us like Rogan does. It's gonna be badass. We're gonna look pretty cool.
All right.
He's a little smarter than us.
I don't know that he is. He's just a little more well-informed than he has tons of probably researchers to help him.
Yeah, we don't have none of that.
I don't smoke as much weed as he does, or any for that matter. And maybe we should
smoking
start.
on air.
Maybe we should start and open up our third eye.
I was a lot smarter when I smoked weed.
Did you? Well, maybe that's what we need to start
I
doing.
was.
Maybe we need.
Probably look stupid.
Maybe we need to stop drinking. Maybe just some Buffalo Trace and some bong heads or some good weed.
Yeah.
We'll get some.
We could be two drunk men instead of the Orange Men.
Nah, well, I don't like that either.
You don't like that either? Well, the Orange Men are two drunk men.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good with that.
Okay. I just want, I don't know, man. I just love my country, and I feel bad that I took it for granted for all these years. And just assumed that it would
Well, we had
always be what it was.
Well, I can honestly. It's so loud. I can honestly say that we've all become a bit complacent within these last couple of years because I remember
Are you guys talking about gay stuff over there? Oh, the gay trans flag, the transgender flag. Okay.
We really aren't as free as I mean, even when in the 80s, when I was growing, when I was a young kid, you were a little bit older, but even in the 80s, shit was so much, I feel like I was so much freer, so much, I wasn't tied down to everything, but I think, with the technology aspect of everything going on now, with the phones and the internet, I think that it keeps people, they're trapped in their homes, not they're trapped physically, but they're just consumed by what's going on online or.
Well, I think this
and,
social media is really what killed this country.
But also, I'm agreeing with you. That's part of it. But I also think it helps. It helps with the news and people getting information. But I think just the phones and the laptops, the tablets, I think it just.
Biden's down 36%.
I just think it's honestly bogged everybody down to living their lives. I see a group of kids riding bicycles and it's all boys and I'm good for you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not sitting home in front of the.
Yeah, playing video games or something like that. You know what I mean? These guys are. Or
It's nice to see.
I see a group of kids at the open field playing football or something. You know what I mean? Good for those kids. You know what I mean? They're not tied down to just or you know what I mean? They're actually doing something for an hour, having to go something that I was doing. I remember me and my friends when I lived on Long Island, we would always go to these woods and play dress up in our fatigues and play army with Nerf, straight up Nerf guns or even BB guns that were not maybe two pumps where it hurts enough to where you're you hit me. You know what I mean? Right. You got the asshole that pumped it up 5 times. You know what I mean? But other than that,
you went out. I was a little bit older. We didn't have Nerf guns.
Yeah, but you had the BB guns.
Well, we did have BB gun fights, but before that, we had Lego gun fights.
Okay.
We used to build our own guns out of Lego.
All right.
We used to run around the neighborhood in the alleys and
pretend you were shooting people.
Cowboys and Indians.
All right. Well, we can't even do that anymore.
I know.
That's offensive.
But it was fun. And then,
The dark-skinned Indian dude.
and then I was introduced to the Daisy BB gun.
Yeah, there you go.
And you would unscrew the top and pour all the BBs in and
Yeah.
pump it up. Well, mine wasn't even a pump. It was like a
It was like a shotgun thing, but you had the bottom, right?
No, not a shotgun, but like a Winchester rifle.
Yeah. All right.
It would
The handle.
the handle. It was spring loaded, so
Yeah.
it wasn't even air gun.
Oh, so you didn't. I mean, so it was like a one click and it was shot.
Yeah, and we used to run it. We used to be in the campgrounds. We used to go camping in Wildwood.
Yeah,
Actually,
see that's what I mean.
We
Like
used to run around the woods and we used to shoot, but we would always shoot high. We would
Like, I
never
remember-
really aim for each other.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fun running around the woods.
But I remember like playing like like me and my cousins back in like New York State. We go to like the Adirondack Mountains and we play flashlight tag and stuff like that. Where like you're trying to, I got you. You know what I mean? Like at night. Like, you don't even see kids doing it anymore. Everybody's just sitting there like when I went on vacation with my nieces, and it's all girls, sadly. But they're all like...
Why sadly?
Well, I'm just saying because it's all girls. So they're like... It's like, hey, you want to go do something? They're like, nah.
We're good.
During the day, they were fine. But at nighttime, they were just like, nah, I might get bit by... The bugs are too big. I might get bit by a crab, or a frog might jump on me or something. You know what I mean? So,
those are the good old days.
But, I remember, like, me and my sister, who was, 2 years younger than me or so, and we would go with my cousins and stuff and play flashlight tag in the night, and, somebody get lost, and it's like, where are you at? The game's over. I was over here. But the times of, and it's even like, and I know, like,
but there was no
my kids are older.
But back then for us, there was no race.
You had to worry about the guy in the van.
There was no gender.
Yeah, you had the guy in the van worried about, hey, you want to?
Let me just tell you.
You want to get this? You want to get some candy? My mom told me to not talk to strangers.
Right. When I was.
That's all I was worried about. I wasn't worried about being raped by some transsexual in the fucking men's room or the ladies' room.
Yeah, none of that stuff even existed. I was my first job.
Yep.
Fifth, fourth, sixth, I don't know, one of those grades. I got a job. I was working for the carrier pigeon. You remember the carrier pigeon?
Yeah. And
the guy would come around in a white van, and he'd have bundles of carrier pigeons,
Yeah.
and he'd have 8, 9, 10
people running for him.
fifth graders
Yeah,
in the
running
back of
for
his
him.
van.
Yeah.
And he would stop at a corner, give us
Yeah.
a bundle of papers, and we'd run down the fucking street. He'd be like, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then he'd take off, drop those other guys somewhere, and we would run down the street, and we would compete against each other to see how many we can get.
Yeah.
Folded up and stuck in the railing handle. And,
Well, in the Northeast, it was probably a good time.
yeah, we were just running around just having a great time. And then, at the end of the night, he'd give us all I'd get $8. I'd be like, wow, $8. I was so happy.
Did like 100 homes, you fuck.
But I can't believe my dad would just let me go out in a van with some dude.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, it was like somebody would pick us up and we would go like, I mean, you guys might remember like the perfume, like door-to-door perfume people. It's like,
No.
oh, you could buy this Jacquard Noir off of me, but it's not. It's like Jacquard Naguar. You know what I mean? It was like the off-brand, and it was like you're selling that shit door-to-door, and it was like, no,
did
thank
that.
you, I'm not interested. Oh, you didn't do that? I guess it was just me.
Must have been you.
Yes?
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, you think back like.
But
to,
none of that stuff he can do anymore.
Nah.
It's
Well,
all
nobody
over.
wants to do it anymore anyway.
But we worked. We
Well, you-
worked at a
you-
young age.
You definitely could
We
have.
went to school.
You couldn't. You
We
definitely
learned
could.
responsibility.
You definitely could have picked up youngsters in your van now.
No, can you imagine? Yo, dude,
In your white van.
I'll give
Like-
you $8 to put some papers in some railings.
They'd be like, yo, this guy just picked up five 12-year-olds on the corner and fucking left in his white van with him.
that was
Caught a police.
It was like
They would track you by everybody's ring cameras
Yeah.
going down the block.
it's
like,
funny because I look forward to doing it too. I remember the first thing I bought.
With your money, with your $8,
my
or with
$8.
did you save up your $8?
Well,
After a couple of weeks?
I saved up a couple of weeks, and I went to the Roosevelt Mall in Northeast Philly.
Right.
And I bought myself a pair of Chuck Taylor Converse. White.
Was the Kitty City there then when you were there, or was
I
it?
remember Kitty
was
City.
Was it the shoe place?
Kitty City wasn't in. I don't think it was in the Roosevelt Mall.
It was up top, right? It was further up.
No, it was
on 73.
No, it was on Cotman Avenue.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was across.
And it wasn't in the Roosevelt Mall.
It was across from the Roosevelt Mall, Kitty City. I remember that.
Woolworths and getting Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, I got Chuck Taylor's, $11. I remember.
Woolworths.
And then we would go over to the Jean Joint, which was in the Roosevelt Mall.
Do you remember going to Woolworths
and I would buy myself some Wranglers, and we all rolled up we bought them long so that we can cuff them over top of our.
So you remember going to
Chuck
Woolworths?
Taylors.
Remember when they had like the booth where you get like shakes and shit?
Yeah.
That was like, but that's what I'm saying, the whole luncheonette. Like they had
that
one
was
down
nice.
here in Abington. I moved here from New York, and like Woolworths, like that was like you go in there, can I get a malted?
Malted, yeah. I remember that.
And I moved here, and it's like all those. That's what I'm saying. Like all those old school. Like I saw somebody post, and it's amazing because it made perfect sense. Like we are the maybe like early 40s to like middle 50s, maybe late 50s, early 60s. We are the last generation that have felt like before the internet and during the internet and beyond, where like we remember all this. Like we are the history of how things were before the internet.
Yeah.
Like before you had like.
That's true.
Before you had like online chats and online, like do you remember calling your friend? You had the corded phone, you had to stand by the phone, or you had to hold on. Somebody else. I mean, you guys were before me. Call waiting, hold on. You know what I mean? Or payphones. I mean, you don't even see see payphones in shady neighborhoods, and everybody's like, I'm not using it.
Yo, Mike, grab me that phone right there. Can you grab me that phone?
But we are like the last
on the shelf, the second shelf there.
To your left. To your left.
To your left, down one.
Down. Look down.
On the black shelf.
Right at seasonal. But we are like the last generation of like old school remembrance.
No, it doesn't work.
We are like the last generation of like old school remembrance of people. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to
connect it to.
A lot of stuff that we know. People aren't going to remember or recall.
Remember that?
Yeah. People aren't going to remember like, well, how did you dial the numbers? You know what I mean? It was like, well, you had to hit B. You had to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, so people don't even understand it. Like, and like when my daughters asked me, like, well, how did you meet up with your friends? I was like, This
is how we did it.
Alright, then maybe I could.
Remember this?
We did. Oh my god.
when my friends would be like, my daughters are like, how did you meet up with your friends? I'd be like, well, I had to either just show up at somebody's house and hope they were there, or ride my bike around until I found that where they were all at.
Feel how heavy this thing is. It feels like a lead weight.
But that's not even that bad because that's the real old school one. Yeah.
I had to bleep that out.
But we are the last generation of like two worlds, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like we are the old school and the new school. You know what I mean? Like we've intermeshed with non-internet, and like like I said, you're not that I'm disparaging, but you're 10 years older than me, so like. You grew up in the 70s, you know what I mean? You were a young guy in what were you, like teens, early teens, late teens?
I was born in 64.
Yeah, so you were
late 70s. I was born on the freeway.
But during the 70s, you were like, yo, these
raised on a mayonnaise farm. Right out of the 8th grade, my brother runned over me with a backhoe.
What I'm saying though,
sparks commenced and my face caught on fire. My brother run off the porch and put it out with a rake. And then I growed up. And then I joined the ROTC for no goddamn reason. And I went to Southside Bakersfield College, where I majored in towels.
Towels?
Towels.
What I'm saying is, so you grew up during you were a young adolescent, so to speak, in the 70s. So
yeah, 70s.
You saw a lot of
Flyers
stuff.
won 2 Stanley Cups in a row back in the 70s.
Well, I was an 80s kid, you know what I mean? So it's like we are like the last generation of both
80s kid. Know what I remember?
Of both worlds.
Everybody wants some.
Oh, it was the best music.
I want some too. I was talking to somebody today, didn't know that the end of the song, David Lee Roth is like, hey, I kind of like the way the line runs up the back of the stockings. I always like them kind of high heels too.
Yeah.
No, don't take them off.
Keep
leave
'em
them
on.
on, leave
Keep
them
'em
on. Look, I'll pay you for it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And that was played on the radio.
Yeah.
And you know what else was played on the radio?
What, Dave?
Who the fuck are you?
Well, you know who
Are you?
yeah,
Who?
all that shit acted.
Who?
Gore.
Tipper Gore? That bitch.
Do you know?
God, it's on music.
Her and her fucking.
That dude sung about.
Do you know the one?
Yeah? What dude?
We're not gonna take.
Take it. No, we ain't gonna take it.
That was their
We're not gonna take it
Dee Snider.
anymore.
From
Twisted
Long Island.
Sister.
Twisted Sister from Long Island. He was from my hometown, Baldwin.
Yeah, baby.
Freeport.
Twisted Sister. Remember that movie? No more Twisted Sister. That was that Michael Keaton movie.
But even so, you like the Guns N' Roses song with where he's basically having sex. Axl Rose was having sex with the drummer's girlfriend.
What?
And it wasn't on the cut that he. No, it was Guns N' Roses. But he didn't. The drummer realized it was his girlfriend by the moans on the song. He didn't hear it in the first cut because they added it in until after everybody approved of the song.
Wow.
Yeah, he got it. Well, that's why that dude was. I think the drummer was Steven Adler then, but he went down like the path of heroin. That was only one of the spiraling things. But he's yeah, but he was like listening. He's like, wait, I know those, I know those moans.
What?
And it was his girlfriend at the time.
Didn't even know any of it.
But yeah, so like the '80s is meshing with the '90s, and then it's we're the generation of basically two different worlds. You know what I mean? Like it's not even.
Always tells you, be nice.
And yet we have like my kids. My kids are so reliable on like technology now. It's like it's disgusting. Like.
Well, it's funny because I was riding my bike today. Me and Teresa were out riding hard. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And not only is there mega people smoking pot while they're driving, because you can't even breathe.
They're all vaping it up.
But everybody's on their phone.
Yeah.
We're coming down the turnpike, and you're
can
doing
tell,
75 miles an
You
hour,
can
and these
tell.
people still passing me. I'm in a slow lane doing 75, and people are passing me, and they're looking down at their phone.
Yeah. You can
While they're
tell.
passing me. And everybody, it's not just one person, it's everybody.
Just veer off into your.
So you got to be really aware of everything. You got to keep your space. You got to be smart while you're out there.
It's an addictive. Listen, we're all addictive, and now
you got to
it's
drive for
now
everyone out there, man.
Now it's even worse because of all the I need my likes or Facebook, like you were saying about social media. Everybody's so worried about and consumed about.
These new cars, dude. I don't care what brand you get, they're fucking fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're fast. Them Kias and all them cars, you're like, oh, Kia. Things are burning.
Yeah.
I was going to work. I was going to work the other day. I was doing 75 and a 70. I had my cruise control set. Actually, I think I might have been doing like 73. And this Toyota passed me. Had to be doing 110. Easy.
Yeah.
Because when he blew by me at 3 o'clock in the morning, he blew by me. My car actually sucked over.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see him coming.
He wasn't drafting you.
No. The next thing I knew, I was like, holy shit, what the... And I was like, what
Like
the
I feel that in our work truck when like a dump truck goes by me. He's
Jesus.
like,
I'm like, dude, you're going to die.
the wind shear pulls you
And then
over.
it turns out that same day, some dude died. That dude died on the bridge, the turnpike bridge. So.
Yeah.
All right.
You gonna sing us out? No?
Yeah, let's sing out. That'd be fun. You going to do it with me?
No, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm trying to get out of here.
All right, we're going to go. All right, everybody. It's okay to be American? One word. He'll get something. It's okay to be American. Here we go.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
you see on CNN is angry
loud.
Trump slogans and white supremacy. But where are those those good old conservative values and the faith in God. Lucky there's the Irishman pod.
The pod.
Lucky there's two men who positively can do all the things that make us. We are the Orange Men Pod. Orange Men out.
Thanks, everybody.